Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch. Brought to you by, amazingly enough, the GamingGang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. I am the founder and editor-in-chief of the Gaming Gang. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time visiting, I am going to be taking a first look and paging through the Symbaroum Monster Codex from Free League Publishing in just a bit. We are wrapping up our Symbaroum week. So on Monday, we took a look at the Advanced Player Guide, or Advanced Player's Guide, I should say. Then yesterday, we looked at the Game Master's Guide, and today we're going to take a peek at the Monster Codex. I've got some giveaways too, yes. I am going to be giving away 3 PDF copies of, you got to reach over and grab it, the Symbaroum Starter Set from Free League Publishing. Today, I am also going to be giving away a physical copy of the Starter Set. These are coming directly from my friends over at Free League Publishing. So you got to be watching to be in the running to win. Do want to point out to those of you who have already won PDFs, you can be in the running for the box set. If you are one of the people, if you happen to be the winner of the box set, then we'll just give away a PDF copy to somebody else. Easy peasy. For those of you who are longtime visitors, thank you for hanging out with me again, taking time out of your busy lives to watch this goofball. This dum-dum. I have to laugh. How did dum-dum become something that's being used like in TV and that? What it's like. So it's a phrase that you would have used for, when you were 5 years old. You dum-dum. Anyway, but that's me. I'm a goofball. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Of course, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. I'll also tell you when I upload other videos as well, such as my recent Kickstarter preview for Affinity 5e, which actually funded in its first couple of hours yesterday, so that was very cool. And my upcoming review of World's Fair 1893. This is the Amazon edition. This is the special edition you could only get from Amazon, and it is from Renegade Game Studios. So stay tuned for that. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that also means there's chat. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, first out the gate tonight was a gray day. Saying hello. We got John Vogel. Viper Dave has joined us. Kevin R. Smith is in chat too. Gary Clarkson is making it on time. Joe Robert, who I believe is a first-time visitor or at least first time chiming in chat, is with us as well. Talking about hence the suckers, dum dum. Yes, the little dum dum lollipops. Who else we got? Anybody else? I think that's it. So Grade A was asking, when was the last World's Fair? Wasn't it in the 60s? Didn't New York have like the last World's Fair? For some reason I want to say like 64, sometime around that. And I don't think they had like the kind of, millions upon millions of visitors that they were expecting. And I think that's one of the reasons why we didn't see another World's Fair. So I'm pretty sure it's the 60s. For some reason, I want to say 64. Strangely enough, I don't know what was going on today, but so this popped into my head, and you have to be from either from like the Chicagoland area, or had like, I don't even know if WGN was a superstation at the time. But I remember as a kid, when I was a kid, there was an ad for the various different comedy reruns that WGN would show right around, the dinner time hour. I think 6 o'clock was the Dick Van Dyke Show, which actually has held up really well. And it was funny. It was a song that they used to play, and they would show little quick scenes of the various different comedies. And it was, the song went, something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone at comedy tonight. Boom. Let's see. It was, something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone at comedy tonight. Boom. So it's funny. It was like, I thought to myself, where did that song come from? The song had to have come from a musical or something. I knew it was from a movie, but I knew it was from a musical. And I thought, I think that's Zero Mostel singing. And trust me, it's not as if I've seen a lot of Zero Mostel movies. And I thought, I bet you it's from a movie that I've never seen, but I know the name of. Something, what was it? Something Happened on the Way to the Forum. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's the title of it. And I thought, I was sitting there, for some reason that was running through my head, a comedy tonight, boom. And I'm like, huh. So I go look at Google, and I'll be damned. It was Zero Mostel, and it was from Something Happened on the Way to the Forum. I'm like, so of course I go on Wikipedia to find out, okay, so what was the plot of this movie? Because I knew it was like ancient Rome, but I knew nothing about it. I don't watch a lot of 60s comedies, although It's a Mad World is still pretty funny. All right, we've got Chris joining us in chat. Hello, Chris. And Omi Now, who I believe is also a first-time visitor, joining us. Welcome aboard. Kick back, relax. It's not rocket surgery taking place around here. We're just talking tabletop gaming news and taking a peek at the Symbaroum Monster Codex. So, Omi Now, I'm taking a stab at the pronunciation, saying we get blessed with show tunes and game reviews. Well, I'm not reviewing anything on tonight's show. I don't tend to do my reviews live because that throws me off. So a Grade A says, Stephen Sondheim wrote that song. Yes. So reading, we're going to get into the gaming stuff. Don't worry. No, I'm just, it's 1960s Forgotten Comedies Hour here with your host, Jeff McAleer. Hi, everybody. I saw on, I want to say it was Wikipedia. Yeah, I think it was Wikipedia as I was taking a look to see what the plot was. And Rex Reed didn't like it. I guess the movie has positive reviews. It's like an 85 or something on Rotten Tomatoes. But of course, Rex Reed, If Rex Reed hated a movie, I'd be like, man, where do I go get a ticket to see that? Because he hated everything. But he mentions that I guess the director, I think it was Richard Lester, who directed The Three Musketeers and The Four Musketeers and the kind of crappy Return of the Musketeers, which was his last movie because an actor died on that film. He retired from directing. Had cut out a bunch of, I guess, the Stephen Sondheim songs from the musical for the movie. So, yes, Kevin Ersmith says, yep, I was about to say that Rex Reed hated everything. Is Rex Reed still around? I thought he was still around. If not, I never wish anything ill on people, but guy was a crank. Hated it. Oh, he hated everything. So Kevin says Zero Mostel was in the original Producers movie. That is the movie that I'm familiar with, Zero Mostel. And he was in Fiddler on the Roof, as Chris had pointed out as well. So I think those are the only two movies I've seen with him. So Agrede says, I watched that old 70s Musketeers movie and didn't realize there was nudity in it. Was there? Was it Faye Dunaway? I remember, okay, I swear, we're going to get into the gaming stuff. I remember when I was a kid and I first saw Three Musketeers, it was on, I think it was like on ABC, of like a Friday night movie or something like that. And I was probably, 10. And boy, I was like, oh my gosh, Faye Dunaway. Raquel Welch, not so much. Faye Dunaway. So Grady says, yes, there are two brief moments of nudity. Speaking of like nudity that you don't expect, From Russia with Love has some. It's real quick, but it is there. All right, so let's jump on into the news because this is not a movie show. Arriving in May from Level 99 Games is Bullet Heart. Here's the scoop. And it's like bullet with a heart. And I believe it's called Bullet Heart. I don't think it's Bullet Heart Icon. In Bullet Heart, players take on the role of heroines in a far-flung future Earth and use their incredible powers to defend the Earth from evil, as well as from one another. Each heroine powers manifest in a different form, with players controlling sound, paper, technology, gravity, triangles, and more. I don't know. I would think the paper and the triangles is kind of weak. Like they had rather control gravity than paper. Turns are simultaneous. Place bullets in your sight and with the color of bullet determining the column and the number how far down in that column it's placed. Use actions to manipulate bullets to form configurations matching your patterns. Using a pattern removes bullets from your sight and sends them to the opponent. When placing bullets, you skip over existing bullets in the column you place it in, with the bullet hitting you if it's placed off your sight. At the end of the turn, you'll gain even more bullets from the center bag as well as what the opponent sent you, ensuring each turn is more hectic than the last. Choosing what order to place bullets, use actions, and use patterns is key to staying alive as long as possible. Playing with the optional timer makes for even more intense play. Bullet Heart features 8 heroines to play and 4 game modes. There's Battle Royale mode. 2 to 4 players can duel in a free-for-all puzzle battle that plays in real time. There's Boss Battle mode. 1 to 4 players can combine forces to survive against a single boss. The game includes 8 bosses, 1 corresponding to each heroine. There's a score attack mode. A lone player can play for a high score against increasingly difficult odds. And then we have two teams of 2 players battling it out in, you guessed it, team battle mode, where the last team standing wins. Bullet Heart battle mode. Bullet Heart is for 1 to 4 players. Ages 13 and up, plays in 10 to 20 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives in stores in May. There's also a limited deluxe edition, which is available directly from Level 99. That carries an MSRP of $59.99. So those of you out there who enjoy kind of puzzle-ish games, but also want to have a little take that in their gaming, might consider giving Bullet Heart a peek. I know there's an expansion to it, as weird as it sounds, and it's Bullet with an orange. So I think it's just called Bullet Orange that I think they're taking orders for right now. That might also be coming out in May. So Joe Robert has joined us. Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for swinging on in. Says the only thing Rex Reed liked was the letter T and dinosaurs. That's pretty funny. All right, moving right along. This spring, we'll see a soccer-themed game, or for those of you outside the United States, football. It's coming from Gigamic Games. It's going to hit the pitch here in the U.S. Here's the latest on Counterattack, the football strategy game. Counterattack is a football strategy game which lasts 90 minutes. The two players, managers, each control a team of 11 players. Every player has a unique set of skills that the managers try to best utilize during play. Managers control how the players move, pass, dribble, tackle, and shoot. Duels between players on the pitch, whether tackles, shots, or headers, are determined by a combination of the unique player skills plus a dice roll. During movement phases, a sand timer is used to keep the pace of the game up. Interesting. Counterattack features everything you'd expect in a game of football, from corners to free kicks, penalties to red cards and injuries. Draft your squad. Every player in Counterattack is unique. How will you deploy them? Line your team up. An all-out attack, park the bus, do whatever the situation calls for. Play every move. Key movements in the game get decided by a combination of dice roll and player attributes. There's basically no exact release date on this here in the U.S. I believe it is out in Europe. Counterattack, the football strategy game, is for two players, ages 14 and up. Plays in, once again, 90 minutes. And it will carry an MSRP of $49.99 for the basic core set when it arrives in Q2. I believe there are there's supposed to be like 150 separate kits that are available for this game. If you take a look, we've got these little cylinders that represent the players. And then it looks like there's a little cylinder that's like the soccer ball or the football. And I guess there's like 150 different colored sets that you can buy. So I would be really interested in checking this game out. I'm going to have to check with my contact over at Hachette Games, who is importing a lot of Gigamix games to the U.S. So I'm kind of curious. What I would like to see is I'd like to see more players. And I'm kind of surprised that you only have 11 players on your team, so there's no substitutions. I mean, if there's red cards, well, of course, that would eliminate the player from the pitch for the rest of the match. But I would think there's like injuries, right? So, I mean, if there's, they're doing headers and, red cards, I would think there should be injuries. I don't know. Kind of like I said, this looked kind of interesting. When I ran across this, I was like, I think I'm going to share this. And like I said, I'll reach out to my contact at Hachette to see if they are the ones who are importing this in to the U.S. this spring so I can check it out. So Kevin Thorpe is talking about the British actor who died from the result of a fall from a horse in making Return of the Musketeers. Yes, it was Roy Kinnear, who was the father of Rory Kinnear, the English actor who, I got to be honest, I think the only thing I know him from is Penny Dreadful. But he was pretty good in it. No, actually, there's something else I saw with him. Can't remember. But yeah, Penny Dreadful is what I recognize him from. So yes, and that is why Richard Lester stopped directing. So because Roy Kinnear got killed, and then Kinnear's family sued and won something like 650,000 pounds, which of course I think this is like 88, something around there. That was I mean, it's big money now, but it was bigger money then. And for negligence, because they were like rushing through trying to get everything done, save money, things like that. All right, so Joseph DeBar has arrived in chat as well. Joe Roberts like T-Rex himself. And now on to the news. So Great A's like footy. I actually, I got to be honest, I haven't played in a couple of years, but I used to play the hell out of Football Manager. Played tons of it. I'd always take some like the lowest league teams and see how far I could get with them. Pretty cool. I really like that game. All right, moving right along. We've had a lot of news from Free League Publishing this week. Got a lot of news from Goodman Games this week. We've got some Modiphius stuff, although the Modiphius stuff is coming tomorrow. And I'm sure Great A's like, wait, what? Jeff's not making that announcement of what's going on with the Modiphius? I'll explain when we're done with the news. Anyway, arriving later this year, I wish I had a better timetable on this, from Free League Publishing is the Tales from the Loop, the board game. Here's the skinny. In 1954, the government ordered the construction of the world's largest particle accelerator. The facility was completed in 1969, located deep below the pastoral suburban countryside outside of the big city. Which big city would it be? Because in the roleplay game, they're not located outside of a big city. Anyway, the local population called this marvel of technology the Loop. Over the years since it was built, strange phenomena has started to appear in the area. Mysterious creatures stalking the land, machines malfunctioning in inexplicable ways. In the Tales from the Loop, the board game, you take the roles of local kids and play cooperatively to investigate whatever phenomena that threaten the islands, or perhaps just a local video store, and hopefully stop them. Each day starts at school, but as soon as the bell rings, you can use whatever time you have before dinner and homework to go exploring. Player actions are integrated, meaning there's no downtime as you wait for others taking their turn. It also makes cooperating with your fellow players dynamic, as you can react to things that happen in a turn and don't have to plan it all out from the start. In Tales from the Loop, the board game, 1 to 5 players take the roles of teenagers who investigate the mysteries originating from the Loop, a huge underground science facility with strange effects on the suburban landscapes around it. Just make sure you're home in time for dinner. Tales from the Loop, the board game, is designed by Martin Takaishi. I think it's Martin Takaishi. And includes high-quality miniatures from Paulo Panta's Dust Studio. I interviewed Paulo years and years ago, back when I lived in Arizona. Very nice guy. Tales from the Loop, the board game, is once again for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, plays in 90 to 120 minutes. The standard edition should carry an MSRP of around $59.99. The deluxe edition should carry an MSRP of $99.99. I think that might be with painted minis when these hit stores later this year. Cool. Very cool. I like the miniatures. I think it's kind of odd, though. Maybe you disagree with me, that the machines get miniatures, but the characters get standees. I'm kind of like, okay. You would think if you were going to have miniatures, although the machines are much larger than the characters would be, but if you look, the standees are actually larger than the minis are. So it's kind of like, All right, moving right along. Now available is the Dungeon Crawl Classics First Time Fan Kit from Goodman Games. Here's the skinny. Get everything you need to start playing DCC RPG at more than half off the cover price. If you're looking to start down the road of Dungeon Crawl Classics, this is the place to start. We've put together a special bundle deal combining the 4 essentials of playing DCC RPG. Wouldn't they say the DCC RPG? Somebody forgot a "the" in there. Into one package for you. This bundle deal contains the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rulebook in soft cover, the DCC RPG thick cardstock judges screen, the Dungeon Crawl Classics Adventure number 66.5, Doom of the Savage Kings, as well as Maned Worm DCC dice. And those are the Zaki dice. Yes, I know. I always want to say Zochi, and I always get corrected by that. They are Zaki dice. But a little more information about the adventure, which is written by Haley Stroh. That means a big thumbs up. Doom of the Savage Kings is a first-level adventure high above the windswept moors and darksome woods. The village of Herit is under attack. Each night, as the sun sinks beneath the western mountains and the candles burn low, a devil beast stalks the village streets, unleashing its savage fury on the living. From warlord to pauper, crone to child, no one is safe. Defeating the immortal hound will require more than mere blades or even spells. To slay the beast, the characters must delve into the mysteries of the land and its savage kings. Only then, armed with relics forged from a bloody past, can the most cunning and courageous of adventurers challenge the Hound of Herat. These products carry a suggested retail price of over $80. It's being offered to you at less than half that price. So grab your bundle today because you can score this for $35. That is a hell of a deal. Seeing that, the Dungeon Crawl Classics, just the PDF alone, is $20. Now, and I think it's over 400 pages, isn't it? Then I just see something on here. Did I say something about that? No, maybe not. For some reason, I want to say that the core rulebook is over 400 pages. So, $35, and you get the Zaki dice, like the 24-sided die, and it's like, what is it, like a 14-sided die, stuff like that. And you get a Haley Stroh adventure, and Haley does some really good adventures. Very, very good adventures. So this is, I got to be honest, I have tried to get on board with Goodman Games. It never seems to, I don't know, we just don't seem to connect. I am so tempted to actually purchase this. And I really don't have funds to buy like any stuff, right? The funds that come in to the gaming gang gets invested back into the gaming gang, right? But I'm like, $35. Wow, that is a sweet, sweet deal. And it is the complete core rule book. It's not a starter set. And as I think it was a Great A just pointed out in chat, that the quick start is free. You can check out the quick start absolutely free for DCC. Now, Gary Clarkson was pointing out that they are loving Basic Fantasy. I got Basic Fantasy and loving it. Yeah, not a very good Don Adams impersonation there, but hey. So Gary was asking, how is this game? I got to be honest, I've never read it. I've never checked it out. I've heard good things. I have taken a peek at some PDF adventures for DCC. One thing I do know is the level system is a bit different than OSR games or even 5th edition, Pathfinder, stuff like that. That you only go up to level 10, but in essentially level 10 in Dungeon Crawl Classics is like level 20 in Dungeons and Dragons. So Kevin R. Smith says 25 dice. No, it's 25 bucks, I should say. No, it's $35. It is $35 for the first time fan kit. So Grade A says, I wonder if this means there's a new edition coming and they're getting rid of old stock. I don't know, because, and a Grade A is just pointing out that they've run DCC for over 10 years. As I say hello to Board Game Gran. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you again. Now I was so busy saying hello to Board Game Gran, I lost my train of thought. I'm still just a little off kilter from that vaccine shot. Anyway, I know what I was going to say. A Grade A, I'm sure a Grade A will let us know if this is the case. Doesn't Dungeon Crawl Classics always, like, they come out with an edition with like a new cover a lot? Like, is it every year that they do that? So Gary says it might be an interesting read. Yeah, there's a bit of a gonzo feel, as far as I understand, to Dungeon Crawl Classics. And so look at that. A Grade A says the dice themselves are 25 bucks. So yeah, I mean, they're practically giving this away. Even if they're coming out with a new edition, I would think, I mean, $35 for this set, softcover core book, adventure by Haley Stroh. Granted, okay, the judges, yeah, that's what they call the game master, a judge. The judge's screen is just cardboard, cardstock, which that's usually what you do see from, starter sets and stuff like that. And the dice for 35 bucks. That's why I'm sitting there going, man, should I bite the bullet and actually buy this? So Kevin R. Smith said DCC dice are definitely expensive every time they've seen a set of them. I have looked at like sets of Zaki dice that were not from Goodman Games. And yes, they are kind of pricey, and usually the reviews of them are not very good from some of the companies I've looked at, like on Amazon. So I don't know. All right, so Board Game Grand says they put their coffee in the fridge this morning and couldn't find it. So I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like Monday's show, I was like totally not necessarily foggy, just I keep saying slow on the uptake. Today, it's just gotten better. It's just the side effect of the second shot of the vaccine. All right, let's move on to my final news piece. Now available in PDF is the Tharkhold sourcebook for Torg Eternity. Wish I had more images, but this is the only one I've got. Here's the dope from Ulysses Spiel. This is going to hurt. Tharkhold is a literal hell on earth. Long ago, demons crushed the humans of the Cosm in a world-shattering war that left both civilizations in ruins. Now the demons, bolstered by occult technology and seeking new realities to plunder, have turned their eyes upon core Earth. Tharkhold invaded Russia, but President Alexander the Wolf Volkov seemed ready for them. An uncomfortable alliance fell over a realm ravaged by madness, radiation, and demonic abominations. Now the status quo has been upended once again with the death of High Lord Cranod, Cranod's henchwoman, the Wolf, and a scheming demon with mysterious ties to the Gaunt Man, now race to extend their control over the realm. You play the heroes of this gritty, blood-soaked realm. Freedom fighters, criminals, renegade psychics, and even the rare demon attempting to overcome their evil origins and change the blasted landscape for the better. Inside, you'll find new perks, spells, psychic powers, and occult tech for players. New threats and foes to encounter, including battling the harsh environment itself. Details of the major factions within Tharkold and the regions they control. Plot hooks and events from the first year of the Possibility Wars. This 146-page PDF is available through Drive-Thru RPG right now for $19.99. Nice. Glad to see this. I also know, and we might do a news piece about this next week. I know that the horror Cosm is up on Kickstarter right now. So I'm going to have to take a peek. I'll take a peek, see when that runs through, and make sure that we maybe get a news piece up about it. I like Torg Eternity. I have no idea why. Well, I do know why. Ulysses Spiel, or at least it was Ulysses US, kind of fell out with me, is because the people that I worked with that was sending me stuff all the time, and we were doing interviews and all these other things, they're not with the company anymore. So that's why we don't see any Torg stuff anymore, I guess, because I really don't have any contact with them anymore. But I like the story. I like the background. I like the setting. I'm not so keen on the mechanics of the game. And I'm not a big mechanics guy. If you follow any of the times that I do videos talking about role-playing games, or even some of my role-playing game reviews, or like, so you want to be a game master videos, I'm not really a massive mechanics person, because I've yet to ever run across a perfect role-playing game. So there's usually something I tweak. Even running Call of Cthulhu for decades, I tweak stuff. I don't run it as in the book. So Kevin Thorpe says, Torg, I haven't seen that in decades. Yeah, it made a comeback by way of Ulysses Spiel about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I have a lot of stuff from Torg, and so Board Game Grant says that she used to own an RPG store, and they got stuck with all their Torg stock. No one was interested in it. Are we talking about the original West End Games Torg stuff, or are we talking about Ulysses Spiel stuff? Because for some reason, Ulysses Spiel's Torg seems to be pretty popular with a core like audience. I mean, they are a rabid audience for Torg. One of the things that's kind of appealing, but also kind of a drawback, is the whole meta plot. It's got a whole meta plot going on. We've got all these source books that have been coming out, and we're talking that it's been a few years. They don't even have all the Cosm books out yet. I think they're almost done. I think they might be on the last one or the second to last one, because I'm not sure if they did the kind of Asian ninja themed. Because once again, what was it that they released? I think it was the Nile, or maybe it was, I think it was the Nile Empire. When they released that stuff, that was the last that I picked up from Ulysses Spiel. In fact, I made a deal. I was at Gen Con. They were doing a panel basically, and one of the they weren't really like a big wig with Ulysses or anything like that, but they were somebody who worked on Torg, asked me if I would record it. That's why you can see on the Gaming Gang from the last Gen Con, there's the video of the Torg, panel, and said, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a trade. I'll give you all the Nile Cosm stuff, which is kind of like pulp action and stuff like that. If I'd go and record it for him. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I wish I still was on board with Ulysses, but I think they honestly overextended themselves when they were trying to open up a US division and all these other things. And I don't know. There are some things I was told like behind the scenes that I'm not gonna get into. But anyway, I kind of like Torg. What can I tell you? I don't think I'd run it with the rule mechanics that they've got. I would probably tweak that a hell of a lot, or just toss in my own kit bashed, rules light OSR kind of style. Hey, one last thing before we jump into moving away from the news, is that I did want to point out that with Dungeon Crawl Classics, some people consider that to be an OSR, an old school revival. I like to say Renaissance, but some people feel it's an OSR game. Others feel it's not an OSR game. I don't consider it an OSR game. Because the game mechanics are a little bit different than what you're used to seeing with what's traditionally considered OSR. But that's not taking anything away from it, because it does have an OSR flavor to it, right? If you see any of the adventures in that, that's why a lot of people tend to port the adventures over to like their old school essentials and Labyrinth Lord and Swords and Wizardry and stuff like that. So Grade A says, nope, they don't think it's an OSR either. It's a different animal. But as we can see, a Grade A likes it a lot. Been running it for over 10 years. $35 for that kit. Flaming Huron's with us in chat. Must have missed Flaming Huron when he popped in. Hopefully, I haven't missed saying hello to anyone. So Kevin says they don't think DCC even considered itself OSR. No, they don't. They don't. I think they understand that they want to be kind of a throwback kind of role-playing game. That's why they've got, because I've seen the ad where it's kind of it's kind of like a black guy with an afro, like from a karate movie and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be like late 70s kind of thing. So I think that's kind of the gist of it. So Board Game Grant says Rifts was fairly popular. Yes, but unfortunately it's from Palladium. We don't talk about Palladium around here. All right. Unless we're talking bad things. All right. Anyway. So tomorrow's April 1st, April Fool's Day. I don't have anything really going on for April Fool's Day. I'm not planning any pranks or anything like that, just so you know. So there you have it. I will be making an announcement tomorrow, which you might think is an April Fool's gag, but it tain't. Anyway, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. All right. Anyway, I plan on watching Godzilla versus King Kong, or is it King Kong versus Godzilla? I forget which way. Who's getting top billing in that? So I'll be watching that tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Nice. I have to laugh because I remember back in the day as a kid, and our local ABC affiliate, Channel 7 in Chicago, would they'd always have like a week worth of, because they always had a movie in the afternoon. Like right about the time I'd get home from school, it would start. And about a couple of times a year, they would have a week where it was monster movies. And one week was always like King Kong, Son of Kong, King Kong versus Godzilla, and maybe a couple of Godzilla movies. And it's funny, I always rooted for Godzilla, even though, unfortunately, the U.S. got the version where Kong wins. So Omi now is talking about Kevin, I think it's Simbada is how it's pronounced, had issues with money, apparently theft by an accountant. Kevin's got more problems than people stealing money from him. Kevin has serious issues. I'm not gonna like pile on anybody here, but Kevin has had serious issues for a long time in the industry. He is not liked. He's a scam artist. He ripped off a lot of people with that Robotech nonsense. And to top it off, there was a suicide thing that we're not going to get into either. That was just like, are you serious? And when I read about that, it was like, that's it. I will never promote anything from Palladium ever again. Not that I was big on promoting it, but I would share news once in a while. No. So as far as his issues with money, supposedly an accountant stole money from him. Kevin's famous for blaming everybody but himself. So there is that. Yes, I know people tune in and watch this show because I sit there and I'm like, I don't sugarcoat stuff. I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm not here to be like everybody's friend. It's just, yeah, Kevin, in my opinion, is, you know, he's not a good person for our hobby in my book. And I know there are people out there, Uncle Kevin, you know, they'll sit there and they're like, all good, whatever he does is fine because they just love riffs. It's like, okay, whatever. All right. So Kevin says, yeah, they were having a lot of financial problems. Yeah, they've got all different problems. So Kevin says they like the setting for riffs, just not the system. Yeah, Palladium gets knocked for it. And I go way back to the Mechanoids. So that's how far back I go. And I had some of the Palladium stuff way back in the day. And even way back then, their system was wonky. It gets overpowered too fast about stuff. So Flaming Heron says, wouldn't say I love riffs. I don't mind some of the horror stuff from Palladium. All right, Nicholas Stanishek has popped in as well into chat. I believe we've seen Nicholas before. Welcome back. Thank you very much for hanging out. All right, so enough of like the preliminaries, right? We're almost 50 minutes into the show. We have yet to look at the Symbaroum book. Yeah, we like to have fun. That's the whole point of having a live stream, right? Little interaction with people in chat as opposed to me just sitting here talking into a camera. Right? We have a little bit of fun. And if you're not watching live, there's timestamps. Speaking of, we are going to be taking a look at the Symbaroum Monster Codex in just a moment. But if you are watching after the fact, this is about the time you're going to get hit by an ad. So get through that, skip that after a few seconds, whatever you need to do with that, and we'll get going in a sec. All righty then. So do want to point out, yes, still doing the giveaway. We've got 3 copies. Well, the reality is I could make it 4 copies of the starter set in PDF to give away tonight, plus 1 physical box set from my friends over at Cubicle 7. Not Cubicle 7. Jeez. I'm looking at something that popped up about Cubicle 7. I'm like, it's from my friends over at Free League Publishing, for crying out loud. There you go. Hey, it's a live stream, right? Warts and all, screw ups and all. All right. So anyway, we're going to be taking a look at the Symbaroum Monster Codex. It's written by Matthias Lilja. I think he's the only author on this. Let me double check. Because it's usually Matthias. No, there we go. And Matthias Johnson. See, here it says Matthias Johnson Hockey. Oh, I know. I'm looking down at the book and I'm still on this other screen. So, but for some strange reason, the info I was pulling the credits from, it wasn't showing Matthias Johnson. Artworks provided by Martin Grip. This 192-page hardcover does carry an MSRP of $44.99. You can also grab the PDF right now from DriveThru RPG for $17.99. So let's swing on over to the other camera, because here we have the Monster Codex. Symbarum's a cool game. I gotta say, I really do like Symbaroum. Free League Publishing is very, very, very supportive of this. There's a lot that's out there. There's a lot of stuff I have not seen for Symbaroum, and it is in English too. I haven't seen any of the adventure packs. I haven't seen any of the Throne of Thorns campaign. They call them Chronicles. So there's a lot out there for it. So this is actually considered to be the third book that is kind of an essential add-on. So with Symbaroum, you've got a core rule book, you've got the advanced player's guide, and then you've got the Monster Codex. And yesterday we looked at what's essentially the fourth kind of core, I don't want to say core book, but they really do build on each other. The Game Master's Guide. So let's take a look at what we got. I'm not going to read everything on the back, but the Symbaroum Monster Codex makes the settlements, woods, and vales of the Davakar region more dangerous than ever before. More than 100 creatures, monsters, and abominations are crammed together between these covers, some of them well known, others only mentioned in legends and fairy tales, some unstoppably hungry, others open to negotiations, some presented in detail, others with only short descriptions. Combined with the guidelines on how to create creatures of your own, the content of this bestiary should provide material for hundreds of hours at the game table. Cool deal. All right, let's dive on in. Of course, I am going to stay picture in picture, so I'm going to actually be cutting off a little bit of the page here, which is intentional. I am not going to look at every single page either, or I'm going to kind of flip through rather quickly. So Nicholas points out, loves that art. Yeah, that is one of the focuses of Symbaroum, is the artwork as well. Really, really like the artwork. I'm going to say it. I say it all the time. Symbaroum is a dark fantasy role-playing game without being grimdark. So, in fact, the funny thing is, it's like civilization is fighting back from almost being destroyed by a dark power. All right, so welcome. So we've got hordes of the eternal night. We have monsters and adversaries, and then we've got some rules and guidelines in the 3 different sections. So, Aminol says that they think the stories for each monster plot is awesome. All right, so we are going to get into Erox. I think these are the spider creatures, aren't they? Yeah, they're sort of spider creatures. Bestial. Colossi. And that's pretty cool. I like that artwork. That is very, very nice. Tortured Nature. The Darkling. So as you can see, this bestiary has kind of a different look, different layout than what we're used to seeing. So if you're coming from 5e or Pathfinder or even some old school games, you're used to seeing, okay, here you go. Here's a picture, hopefully, of the creature, monster, what have you. Stat blocks. Yeah, some game master information and stuff. Or just, discussion of like combat tactics that those creatures use, what have you. And then that's pretty much what you're looking at. This is kind of a different look. This is kind of a different layout to it. We've got some like that paper. It looks like that's crumpled up paper for this Death Prince. We had some back here. We've got some letters. There we go. Like so. I will point out, I am not a huge fan of information being provided in like like script like this. I don't mind it if this is a player handout, but sometimes these fonts are a little difficult to read. In fact, if you saw see something like this, I mean, I can read it, but we're seeing a bunch of different changes in font. I got to be honest, that would irritate me a little. So I can tell you right now, I haven't looked at this. You know, when I do a first look, when I do a page through, I have not cracked open these books. So this is new to me as it is to you. And some people out there, I'm sure they know way more about this book than I do. But I can tell you right now, when I review this, I am going to mention the variety, the all these changes in font. I'm going to ding it. I'm going to ding this a little bit because as a game master, and I get it. I get the whole influence suddenly that Mjorkborg has had on role-playing games for the worse, I have to say. And this looks like this is, although I think this came out before Mjorkborg came out, whereas some people just say Morkborg. All right. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right. So, oh, nice. Almost looks like some sort of a worm thing. Looks like it's bursting out of the ground. So it appears we get some information here. So these are goblins. So we get information about the creature, race, what have you, monster, whatever. It looks like we get kind of like a flavor text. And then adventure setup. So we get some information here about utilizing these in games. So here it's an ill goblin, a necromage, necromage, whatever you want to say, servant. So it's talking about that. So are we going to see different kinds of goblins, or is that just an example of a goblin, ill goblin? Also says playing as one. So Kevin says, ouch, decorative fonts used for long paragraphs. That's what I'm saying. I am not a fan. So the thing I would be curious about is if this has a printer-friendly edition in the PDF. I would be curious about that. So, because at least if you get rid of like the background colors and things like that, then it's a bit easier. So, and I get it. I understand. It's an artistic decision that they are going for more of a kind of storytelling aspect of these. So Aminal says, think of it as each creature as its own adventure in this book. I do see where they're giving you the adventure setups. Once again, here's another adventure setup. Anyway, and they include those paragraphs to give to the players. I get that. I understand that. I understand if it's supposed to be a player handout. But even like Call of Cthulhu, which I have run for decades, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the really good books will have the handout that's in the script and stuff like that. But then within the actual game book that the game master is referring to, it's just in the same font as the rest of the information. So it's easy for you as the game master to look at that and understand that information. So Grade A says it's like those kids' monster books, Dungeonology or Dragonology. I'm not familiar with those. I'm not trying to knock this because once again, I haven't read this. I haven't seen this. All I'm pointing out is from a game master's point of view. And if you watch my series of videos, so you want to be a game master, I discuss trying to make your life at the table easier, to make things more fun for your players, making it easier on you to actually run things at the table. That's why you'll see certain reviewers for role-playing game adventures will point out that an adventure might be pretty cool, but using it at the table, it's very difficult for you to parse the information. So Grady's saying it's probably not meant to be used at the table. It's probably meant to be a prep source. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. I mean, if you think about it, let's be honest. I mean, almost everything is just prep source. So I know a lot of you out there run role-playing games. As Leopold von Demuth has popped in, says this book is absolutely awesome. Excellent. Hey, welcome aboard. Once again, like I said, I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just giving you just initial impressions, taking a look at this. The things that are popping in my head as we take a peek through. But yeah, I love the artwork. I mean, the artwork is spectacular. I love it. That's one of the things I really like about Symbaroum is the artwork is very evocative, and it's very it really gets, as I like to say, my juice is flowing, right? Okay, so as I started to ask before I said hello to Leopold, I know a lot of you out there run role-playing games. In chat, and of course, if you're watching after the fact, if you'd like to tell me in the comments, do you have all of your rule books at the table? I'm curious. I will tell you right up front, I don't. Normally, what I'll have is if I'm running a pre-written, say like a Chaosium adventure for Call of Cthulhu, I'll have it on my tablet. And that's it. I of course have the Call of Cthulhu rule book on my tablet, but I never refer to it. And I am also one of these people who's like, I'm a hand waver, right? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. All right, roll a 20-sider. You're looking for higher than 15, whatever. Just keep the story going, right? There's nothing worse. I've said it in the video series that I've done. There's nothing worse than the game master stopping everything going on at the table so they can look up some obscure rule about something. Who cares? Look it up after the game. Go, oh, okay, next time you play, say, oh, gosh, you know what? I completely messed up that rule last time. So from here on out, this is what we do. But don't blow your adventure session by sitting there going, oh, hang on, wait. And I have played in some games where people did that. All right. So we got a good chat going tonight. We have some first timers popping in. We've got some people who usually just kind of watch, but they don't take part in chat. So that's pretty sweet as well. Oh, yes, I'm the Troll Shadow. Nice. This is the longest of the 3 supplementary books. So this clocks in at 192 pages, I think it was. So we have Monsters and Adversaries. So now these are, I would take a guess, these are probably more along the lines of not intelligent, low intelligence kind of monster. Now watch, I'm going to flip it over and be like, orc. Ordo Magica. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the adversaries, it looks like these are humans. All right, so we've got, do we have 2? Looks like we've got 2 bookmarks. All right, where's the other half? There we go. Okay. Yeah, we do. We've got 2 bookmarks in this. Nice. All right, Board Game Grant's got to run. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Catch you next time. Yeah, I guess these are people. That's weird. Didn't I just see something that said, yeah, okay, monsters and adversaries? I thought we were going to see the monsters. But I guess it's we're looking at adversaries first, maybe. So guard dogs, pickpockets, there we go. Beasts and monsters. This is what I was trying to say. Probably, you know, more creatures. That's pretty sweet. Seems to me that Symbarum's artwork, they really like to have like the spider-like creatures. These spindly legs for the creatures and that. Oh, black plague termites. Oh, that's nice. See, something like this is what people are more used to seeing, where it's just, here's a blurb, here's your stat block, knock yourself out. So I do like I think the presentation is cool. I'm just curious how easy it's going to be to read. So Imanol says that they have their players look up core rules. Well, one thing I always recommend is your players need to understand what their special abilities and things like that are. That is not your responsibility. And you get them started right off the bat. So you teach them good lessons. Don't let them get into bad habits. So Nicholas says that they love bookmarks in RPG reference books. That is something we see a lot with European books, not so much with North American books, although we're seeing more of it. Because I was going to say, I mean, back in the day, even 5 years ago, I don't remember English, you know, North American releases with any kind of bookmarks. Now we're starting to see it a little bit more because these European books, just the quality of them, from the paper stock to the binding to the covers, they always tend to be really, really well done. Really, really nice. And I'm not picking on Wizards of the Coast and their slick, glossy covers, but I got to be honest. To me, that is a much more impressive matte finish. That's a much more impressive looking cover than just your standard gloss Paizo Wizards of the Coast release. So, Disease in Symbaroum. So now it looks like we're probably going to get, I think we have, okay, so we've got a monster creation section. I think we have some new rules in here. So Grady says that his cats like those bookmarks. Yes. There we go. Balanced combat resistance. I'm not into that. I don't necessarily, once again, I come from that old school mentality where, excuse me, that I don't balance things out. I don't sit there. I wouldn't sit there and figure out, oh, well, what's the challenge rating of this? And no. I like the whole, hey, we better run. And that's probably one of the reasons why I have run Call of Cthulhu for so long. So we've got duck. We got ducks in this. Just like RuneQuest. Nice. That's cool. All right. So looks like we've got some thanks to Kickstarter backers as well. All right. 192 pages. Actually, we got 187 pages of gameable material. Okay, so it says April Fool's. Hey, that's kind of funny since tomorrow is April Fool's Day. It says note that the Andric initially was an April Fool's joke and that the creature doesn't play any role in any other official products from Free League. Many love the creature in question. Many love to hate it. So whether or not you want to have a place in your particular game world is entirely up to you. They're descendants of ordinary ducks who are deformed by dark powers into a caricature of other cultural beings, a fact that has not escaped the other races nor the Andrics themselves. Nice. I've mentioned it before that the first time I saw RuneQuest, and I bought the first box set for RuneQuest, and I remember I was just glancing through. I hadn't started reading it yet, and I saw the ducks. I was like, what? Zoinks! I like them. I think they're kind of cool at RuneQuest. All right, so that is the Symbaroum Monster Codex. I will be reviewing this in the near future, and we'll be discussing this in much more detail as well. So, as Flaming Heron says, make sure you smash that like button if you like the stream, folks. Thank you, Flaming Heron. Hey, Disavowed 92 has joined us. Good to see you. Sarah D mentioned, I am the terror that flaps in the night. Oh gosh, what cartoon is it? Darkwing Duck, right? Isn't that Darkwing Duck? I got to be honest, I was a little too old for the whole DuckTales thing. Although I did watch Batman the Animated Series. So that was different. There was blood in that. And I'm not knocking DuckTales or any of the like spin-offs and that, because I understand people love that show. All right. So Agrede says, you know how many Howard the Ducks players wanted to play in RuneQuest? Big cigar. I had Howard the Duck comics when they came out. Yes, that's how old I am. I remember when Howard the Duck was going to run for president. He was running against Jimmy Carter. So, all right. Anyway, I have 4 copies of the Symbaroum starter set in PDF to give away. And I also have a box set that's going to be coming from Free League Publishing. It'll be sent to you. So what I'm going to do is I have to point out that if you want to be in the running for the PDF, you have to have a drive-through RPG account, because that's how Free League Publishing is going to send you that PDF. So keep that in mind. So if you are a winner of, as Cameron F shows up, am I late? Yes, you missed it all. All right. Hey, congratulations, all the winners out there. All right. Well, so man, that was beautiful. That was just, man, I can't believe all of you won. So Agrade's asking if it's opening day in Cubtown tomorrow. So you will see me in my other Cubs jersey, my traditional Cubs jersey. This is a road jersey that I'm wearing right now. Okay. Anyway, so if you are a winner, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to contact me. You're going to have to email me at jeffmcaleer@thegaminggang.com. Somebody had mentioned that they didn't find my email address on the website. It is there. You got to look at the contact info. I don't leave it like floating around out there for every knucklehead to start spamming me. So anyway, so Aaron says, yeah, I didn't even notice your jersey. I know. So it's Cubs hat though. But if you're not a baseball fan, you wouldn't know it. Well, you might, but most people be like, yeah, it's just a C. Yeah, what is that? Is that football? Is that football? Is that hockey? Is that a hockey team? Anyway, so if you happen to win the box set, you're going to have to email me, obviously enough, your name, your address, and your phone number, because, don't worry, I'm not going to be calling you. Yeah, Great A says C is for corn. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you, but because this is going to actually ship from Europe, they need a phone number. So that's why I need to have you send a phone number. All right. So without further ado, let's jump on into the giveaway. So who do we have who is interested in getting the PDF? Who do we have hanging out? Alminel says, we don't get a call on our birthday? No, because I'm not asking for your birthday. All right, so who's in? We actually only had 2 yesterday, so okay, so Chris. All right, so we got Chris. Mr. Eddie T, there we go. How you doing, Mr. Eddie T? So wait a second. So Sarah didn't want a copy because she's got it. And Mr. Eddie T says he wants one. I know the situation there, folks. That's a little weird. Okay, so Kevin. Okay, so Joseph already won. So this is for the PDFs. We're not doing the box set yet. So Cameron F. Then we've got Eddie. So we got 4. So okay, so Eddie, you're interested in the box set? Is that basically what we're talking about? Joseph says, I'll give you my birthday if you want to call me. All right. So Flaming Huron. Flaming Huron, you didn't win one, did you? I like that. Eddie's like, I want the box set, not the PDF. Oh! Poo-poo. No, I get it. I get it. So, Flaming Huron, you're in, right? So Flaming Huron won the other day. Okay, so we have Chris, we have Kevin, we have Cameron. No, we were gonna give away the PDFs first, and then the last thing I'm gonna do is give away the box set. So no, this is nothing different. It's the same PDF from previous. So Great A says the box set costs 3,000 subs. All righty. So Aminol says, I love physical copies, but if they go for a Foundry module, I'd be happy. So far, I got to be honest, the only company that's really supporting Foundry, and Foundry is pretty cool, I've not dived too far into it, is Cubicle 7. And I think they've got a stake in it. I think that might be why. But one of the cool things about Foundry is there are a lot of mods basically for the core rules for different games that are out there. All right. So Nicholas says they want the box set. All right. So Chris, Kevin, and Cameron are interested in the PDF. Because I will just give you the PDFs. Because I have 4. We had 3 the first day, gave those away. I had 3 yesterday, but I only had 2 people who were like, yeah. So I just gave it to it. I didn't even roll any dice. So Chris, Kevin, and Cameron, email me your email addresses. And please make sure that you have a drive-through RPG account set up with that email address, because I'm going to send an email with the winners to my contact, Boelle, over at Free League Publishing, and she's going to handle the rest. So I would assume that by the weekend, you would have the PDFs, and she'll send out the box set. All right, so let's go to who wants the box set. Because now I know we got some people who want that. So I know Nicholas. And then we're going to roll a die for this. So we got Nicholas. I think Sarah and Eddie would like a chance at winning the box set, the physical box set. All right. All right. So, now I think we got Kevin. Okay, so yeah, Cameron, anybody who just is getting a PDF right now, you are also in the running for a box set. Joseph. Flaming Huron. Wow, isn't this exciting? Isn't this great? Wow. Boy, this is so exciting watching Jeff looking down, writing down people's names. Wow, what a stream. What a stream. All right, we got Gary. Gary's in on that. Chris. Yeah, if you win the box set, that's what I need to have. Your name, your address, the phone number. The PDF, all I need is the email address. That's all I need. And to make sure that you've got a Drive-Thru RPG account set up with that email address. Okay, so I've got Nicholas, I've got Ominal, I've got Kevin, I've got Cameron, I've got Joseph, I got Flaming Huron, I've got Gary, I've got Chris, I've got Sarah, I've got Eddie, Mr. Eddie T to you. Anybody else? Am I missing anybody? Is there anyone I'm missing? Give you another moment. Do you want me to start singing that song from Something Funny Happened on the Way to the Coliseum again? No, cell phone's fine. Cell phone's fine. All it is the phone number that, I guess, especially if you're here in the U.S. Yeah, like that Nicholas says, it has a landline. That Customs has to call you. If there's a problem, Customs will call you. And that's happened to me once on a package that was a game that was being sent from overseas, and they were asking what it was. They were like, what's in this box? I said, it's, who's it from? And they told me, I said, oh, it's a board game. All right. Okay. So we're going to go back to the other camera. There's my list. We got 10. Looks like we got 10 people in the running. So I've got Nicholas, Ominal, Kevin, Cameron, Joseph, Flaming Huron, Gary, Chris, Sarah, and Eddie. Anyone I'm missing right now? I'll give you another minute there. 60 show tunes for 500, please. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. How's that? Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me this countryside. Bump, ba-dum, ba-dum, bump, bump. All righty. So we've got 10. Here we go. Here's a 10-sider. Here we go. Good thing I didn't need to bust out any Zaki dice because I don't own any. And it is number 4. It is Cameron. Was it Cameron F? I think we had. Cameron F., you are the winner of the Symbaroum box set Treasure Hunts in Davokar. You are not winning this copy. This is my personal copy. I just have had it out so that people could see it. No, you're going to get a nice, fresh, shrink-wrapped box set. So, very cool. I am going to have... I'm going to try to do some more giveaways. So Cameron F's like, woohoo! Trying to do more giveaways. It seems to me that the people who hang out in chat are much more into role playing games than they are board games. Seems to me that the people who watch after the fact tend to be, well, I guess part of it has to do with what I'm covering that night. But I think because we've talked a little bit about it in chat before. So that's why, plus it's so much easier for me to do PDF giveaways. It's way, way easier to do that. All right. So wow, hour and a half show tonight, right? Let's wrap this up. But before I go, do want to point out that tomorrow night I am going to be unboxing and taking a first look at Dominant Species Marine from the late great Chad Jensen. This is from GMT Games. Pretty hefty. See, pretty hefty. Oh, hey, so One God 777 has just done a $5 tip. Thank you very much. Always appreciate that. I never ask for that. So I never put my hand in your pockets. It's important for people to know that. I think that's why some people actually follow the gaming gang, is that, we don't do Kickstarters to keep us around, anything like that. Flaming Heron's like, Jeff is a winner. So Cameron says, what is the email I send this info to? All right, there you go. You got me. It's the April Fool's joke early. There is no giveaway. No, I'm kidding. It's Jeff McAleer, McAleer at thegaminggang.com. And everybody, also, once again, thank you, a great A saying thanks for the giveaways, Jeff. So, yes, Wargame Wednesday was dry. Yes, it's Wargame Thursday. That's what we're going to have, Wargame Thursday. I will have some Wargame news tomorrow, too. Anyway, so, hey, thanks to everybody who swung over to the website and left a comment. Definitely appreciate that. If you could do that from time to time, that would be awesome. We used to get a lot of comments going on the Gaming Gang back in the day, back when the website looked way different. And I don't know. It's kind of funny. We just don't really see that many comments on the website anymore. Maybe that's because there's more of a focus on the video aspect of things. Maybe. I don't know. All right. So if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of World's Fair 1893 from Renegade Game Studios. This is the special Amazon edition. You can only get this one from Amazon, and there are some historical figures in there, some African American and African American related figures in there that you can only get through this edition. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night / Thursday morning or whatever day it happens to be. Those of you who are watching live, taking part in chat, thank you very much. I always appreciate you keeping this knucklehead company, so I'm not just spouting off to a camera into the ethers. But I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live themselves. So if you're watching after the fact, even if you're watching on Memorex, thank you very, very much. Always definitely do appreciate that. I will be back tomorrow. So until then, as I wrap up all of my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and everybody please wear a mask.